Wow, it has been a minute. I have not made any sort of life update video since January 2018. You probably noticed my left hand. I know, that's like the biggest update, but okay. So, start from the beginning. I'm not gonna do the vocal thing first, I'm gonna do the life update thing first, but okay. So, what has been going on in my life? 2018 was an interesting year, especially as far as like relationships, and I actually didn't start dating my fiance until next year. The year till 2019. Okay. Didn't start dating him until 2019. But okay, in 2018 I got my wisdom teeth removed. And personally, I think that's why I put on so much weight. Yeah. And then like in like April or May, I started getting like so jealous of like my friends like getting in relationships and stuff, so I literally like made myself an imaginary boyfriend, and it was the worst mistake of my life because I literally felt like I was just like lying to everybody, even though I wasn't even really lying to anyone but myself. So that was a mistake. Like, then this dude on Facebook, like, okay, actually he was on Instagram first. He kept like flirting with me, and he was from like Nigeria or something, and he was like, oh, I want a relationship that leads to marriage, you're so beautiful, I love you. And I actually like did it for like a day. Like, I dated him for a day, but then I was like, you know what, I don't like you like at all. And he was like telling me to like block his like ex-girlfriend because she was like bothering me. Like, no, she was just like giving me the confirmation I needed to like break up with you. Well, that was frustrating. And so then a little later I was like, okay, I'm like really glad to be single, I don't want to deal with that anymore. And then later that year I stopped like being confident in my singleness, and this guy I also didn't like. He wasn't a Christian, he wasn't anything like that. He was one of those atheists that like thinks Christians are like horrible or something, but he still liked me for some reason. Like, he wanted to date me, and I was like, okay, sure. And then I was like, am I really gonna like marry this guy? Like, no, I don't want to do that. But so we dated for like a week, and he asked me out to the movies, but at the time I like wasn't great at driving, and I didn't know how I was gonna get there, and I felt like this sense of relief that I didn't have transportation there, and I was like, uh-oh, I better break up with him because I don't even want to go on a date with him. So I like kind of scheduled like a day in my mind that I was like gonna break up with him, but he kind of broke up with himself in a way. He was kind of like, you don't like me, do you? And I was like, no, not really. And but he kept like begging me to come back, and I was like in rehearsal for Annie. Like, I was doing Howard County Summer Theater. It was my first, like, yeah, I remember like the last time I did like a vlog, I was talking about auditions for that. Well, I got in the ensemble, and yeah, I don't quite remember. But then I started like using Christian Mingle, and there was this guy Alex, and that was an interesting story because, okay, so he wanted to like see Annie, and that all worked out. I was like, this is it, this is a chill guy, he's like totally my type, like, oh my goodness. So we went to the National Harbor, and I started working at my then church, Bethany United Methodist Church. I was, what did I do? I volunteered. I was like the front desk receptionist. Yeah, I wasn't paid or anything, but yeah. And so that all happened, and I read some books that I had gotten from the library, and that was really nice. Um, I only really liked one of them. It was called The One, An Amazing Love Story Starts With You, and I'm gonna start reading it again to see how it holds up in like this completely different season of my life. We went to the date to the National Harbor, and it was really nice, and I thought it all worked out and everything, but then he said that he didn't think that we were a good fit for each other, and that like totally broke my heart, and I was like crying about it and stuff. And what's funny is I tried to find him on Facebook, but like he's not on Facebook. But I found this other guy named Alex who looked like him, but like he had a girlfriend, which was weird, but like we still were like Facebook friends or whatever. And then, but like he kept like, after Alex broke up with me, the other Alex, the Alex that's on Facebook, he started like flirting with me, and I was like, dude, what the heck? You have a girlfriend. But then I like looked at his like profile and everything and said he was single. And I was like, okay. And I kept like, you know, kept getting my hopes up over guys and stuff. And so that worked out until like January 2019. He was like back with his girlfriend, even though he was like totally flirting with me. And I was like, I literally like looked in the camera like on The Office. I was like literally just like that. And so yeah, I like unfriended him and like blocked him on like everything. And he like wanted me to get a Snapchat. And I did, but I couldn't really figure it out very well. And I literally just like deleted Snapchat after that, because what is the point? I don't like Snapchat. He just wanted me to be on there. But anyway, so then for some, and like my best friend, I'm not even gonna mention her name, I don't want to like slander her or anything, had been like on and off again, like ghosting me and stuff. And so at some point in like February 2019, I was like just really upset about that. Actually, so back up a little. I actually like met my fiance. You know, we never actually like met in person before I was like interested in dating him. We just kind of talked on Facebook. But I think the first time I ever saw him was in 2017. I was in a play, and he was in the audience. It was really nice. And he had like this like big laugh. And I'll put in a picture of what he looks like, because I know he doesn't like want to be on camera or something, even though he's literally an actor. And he was also in Musical Without a Cool Acronym. He literally played the gay reporter. If you know anything about that, he was the gay reporter that was like, I need to buy my husband one. Yeah. But what's funny is I'm the gay one. I'm bisexual. But whatevs. Something that like drew me towards him, like he'd always be like really encouraging whenever I was like having a bad day or something. And also, like, some of his, like, views, I was like, at first I was like, ugh. But then I was like, wait a minute, I think he's on to something, actually. Like, you know what I mean? And so, in, like, February, it kind of, like, early 2019, it kind of hit me, like, wow, he's actually really cute. I like him. And I kept thinking, like, maybe I should date him. Maybe I should actually, like, give him a chance. And then, like, shortly before, like, Valentine's Day that year, I was, like, being really upset over, like, failed friendships and failed relationships and all this stuff. And I was like, I'll never be good enough for anybody. He was like, that's not true. You were probably too good for most people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love him. And so, I started following this YouTuber guy. His name was like Mark Bollinger, I think. And, I was like, okay, I need advice on what to do about this guy that I like. I didn't like ask him that. I just sort of like Googled it or something, and he gave some good advice, and I used it. First, I just invited him to hang out, and he was like, why do you want to hang out all of a sudden? And I was like, oh, I just think you're such a blessing in my life. And he was like, wow, you know, I was having a bad day, and that really made me feel better. And so that made me so happy, and like my heart was like bursting. And for a while, I thought that maybe he was, like, the guy for me. But I was like, nah, I don't like him like that. So then I realized, like, my birthday was coming up. I was turning 24. And I was gonna have, like, birthday dinner. And I invited him to the restaurant where we were eating. I couldn't make it, and neither could that totally fake friend of mine. But then later, like a few days actually before my birthday, he asked if I had a crush on him, and I said yes. And then he was like, normally I would be your boyfriend in a heartbeat because you're amazing, but I have so much work to do. And I was like, yeah, I totally understand. And like, I really had like peace about that. But the thing is, he didn't. And he later was like, hey, can we talk about this relationship thing? He was like, I'm so busy, but you're so gorgeous, and I really want to date you. Can I just be your boyfriend? And I was like, yes. And so we started dating. We became like Facebook official on like April 16th. And like, honestly, a lot of people I knew like didn't really like him, so I was like kind of awkward about it, but you know, they were so supportive. And so then, and I think the way that I knew that he was the one was I said, like, even when I'm not with you, I'm thinking about you. He's like, oh, what are you thinking about, if you don't mind me asking? I was like, no, getting married and stuff. And his reaction was like so priceless. I just knew. He was like, so that's when I knew. And that was after like a month of dating, and I didn't really feel like I needed to like rush into the relationship until like 8 months into the relationship. But like, so we got engaged after like 2 years on April 24th, 2021. I was in his parents' house and on the couch. And also another big part of that whole story is I had been like independent of him, like thinking about becoming Catholic, and like he's also Catholic. And I was kind of thinking, like, Lisa, do you just like a lot of Catholic boys? Well, and I was like, well, I like a lot of Baptist boys too, and I've never been like, wow, I really want to be Baptist, like, you know? And so I was supposed to be like baptized and everything on Easter of 2020, but instead we like postponed it to June 21st for like obvious reasons. And I feel like I wanted to like become Catholic independent of him, but I feel like without him I wouldn't have like actually taken that step. So like I kind of realized that like my views were like more similar to Catholicism than like the church I was actually going to, which is kind of crazy. And a lot of people will say, like, Mary was, like, a big stumbling block from them. Like, she was actually a big catechist for me. So, or catalyst for me. That's what I meant. But, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh, Catholicism is so legalistic, and that's when I became Protestant and stuff. And I'm like, I don't get that. Like, I don't get, like, I've always struggled with, like, the Protestant model of, like, salvation. Like, how do I know if I'm saved or not, you know? Like, but whatever, that's a rant for another time. But anyway, and, like, it's, like, a one-time thing, like, no. But, anyway, my cartoon. So I'm getting married on June 4th, 2022. I'm so posting the video. Clearly, we need money. I've been very much struggling to get a job. I dropped out of college, and, like, people will, like, fully admit that, like, you know, some of my professors were literally manipulating me. Like, I just want to put that out there. And I've struggled so much to get a job. Like, no one is hiring me. Everyone says, like, oh, we're hiring, but they aren't hiring me, clearly. I've tried, like, 30 different jobs. Like, oh my gosh. But anyway, I'm trying to, like, start my cartoon. That's the cheapest business idea I have. Please audition. Please. I will pay you. I will literally pay you, like, $20 an hour. Like, just make an unlisted video of you saying or singing anything, and title it My Audition for Lisa Alonso's Cartoon. I know this was more of a life update than an audition thing, but please, I'm begging you, I need money. It's gonna be a Patreon cartoon. Bye.